I had this idea for a short film a few months ago, but I was always finding excuses not to do it. Either because I didn't think the script was good enough, or because I didn't have the right knowledge, or because I didn't have the right lighting to do some of the scenes. You know, basically every excuse I could find. But eventually I said enough is enough, and instead of just worrying about it being perfect, I just decided to create something. So I gave myself 7 days to shoot and edit the entire thing. And in today's video I want to share a few struggles that I faced and what I did to try and overcome those obstacles. By the way, if you haven't seen it yet, I will leave a link in the description below. This film was shot in 2 locations, one in the apartment that I'm currently living in and the other in a nearby park. The apartment is very small and I struggled a lot with finding the right composition and camera angles. The first few takes looked really bad, they looked flat, boring and really amateur. Plus the shadows in the wall look really hideous because of the way I set up my lighting. I didn't really have a choice but to reshoot the interior scenes with my girlfriend in a different day. I also only have one key light available and to be honest, my lighting knowledge is very limited, which made it even more difficult. But I didn't give up and we tried to make some changes. I added a little bit more depth by moving the couch from the wall, and I also added a plant in the back to fill the frame a bit more and make it less boring, and I also added a practical light to add more contrast to my scenes. Overall, it's far from perfect. It's not really how I envisioned it in my mind, but considering how small the apartment is and the limited knowledge that I have, I think I managed to at least improve the scenes from the original ones first. This was a nice learning experience, especially considering how limited time we had available, which leads me into my next struggle. I know this may seem like a big excuse to many, but to me it's something that I really struggle with at the moment. Maybe I'm just bad at managing time, but having a full-time job that takes at least 9 hours a day for 5 days a week really makes it harder for me to plan and shoot things the way I really wanted to. And yes, you might be asking, why did I only give myself 7 days to shoot and edit the entire thing? Well, I am committed of uploading 1 video each week to my YouTube channel, and this time I wanted to do something different. I wanted to do a cinematic short story or a sequence or whatever you want to call it. And because I have bad planning, I shoot and edit on the same week that I post a video, which is a bad way to do it. I definitely need to find a better system that works for me. But that's why I only had 7 days to finish the entire project. So it was a challenge. I put a lot of pressure on myself and also my girlfriend, but I'm happy with the result in the end. It's not perfect, but it was definitely a big learning experience, and I'm happy how it turned out. These types of videos or stories is what I want to try and do more of. That's why I pushed myself to do it, regardless of the outcome. It wasn't bad enough that I was struggling with time that I even decided to put more pressure on myself and film the entire thing both horizontally and vertically. That's right, I could have filmed the entire thing horizontally and posted like that on Instagram and TikTok, but guess what? I went ahead and filmed everything vertically as well, making an even shorter version of an already short film. This means I had to double up on everything, double the compositions, double the shooting, double the editing. Yay me! I also had forgotten how hard it is to film yourself. I'm usually mainly behind the camera, but obviously this project demanded something different, so I had a lot of things to manage. The camera, the lighting, the exposure, the composition, you know, you name it. It definitely would have been easier if I had a third person helping me shoot this, but it's always something to keep in mind that shooting yourself can be a lot more demanding than it looks. Needless to say, I probably made the whole process more difficult than it needed to be, and by the end of the shoot, I couldn't even bribe Joanna with more strawberries anymore. That woman was ready to shoot me, and I guarantee you it wasn't with a camera. But seriously, if it wasn't for her, none of this would have been possible. So thank you for helping me shoot 7 billion takes where none of them is ever good enough for me. So I guess the takeaway from all of this is that it was a great learning experience, but I still have loads to learn. Lighting and planning my videos better are one of those things. But if you're thinking about making a short film, just do it. Regardless if you think that the script is cheesy or that you don't have the right equipment or the right lighting and this and that, forget about all the excuses. I kept finding excuses for myself not to do it, but I realized it's stupid. And if you're worried about what others will think of you, who gives a shit? It's your life. You have to be happy and do what really you want to do. Even if you don't have a camera, just shoot with your phone. It's always better to create something than nothing at all. If you have that desire, just go and shoot something. I used to think that I needed to have all the knowledge in the world first before I went out and shoot a project like this, but now I'm realizing that I'm gonna learn and get that knowledge by actually doing the stuff. Learn to enjoy the process and forget about the outcome. If it makes you happy, what bigger reason do you need to make it happen? I will see you in the next one.